Hello again, everybody. So this is going to just be a quick video about how to jog your memory with Pensum C questions. So the basic way to do it is, remember, so these questions are all in Latin, and so what I want you to do is I want you to answer the questions in Latin, preferably with complete sentences, though I might give partial credit if you have incomplete sentences and just sort of say no or yes, but I'd rather it was complete sentences. So num Julius solus in villa habitat. Okay, well, what does, remember, if you remember back to my earlier Pensum C explanations, the first thing you want to do is you want to look at at the question words at the beginning of the questions. Let's capitalize this Q right here, just because. So what does num do? Well, num isn't like ubi or quid, where ubi means where and quid means what. Instead, num just simply turns a sentence that is otherwise a statement, and it turns it into a question. So if we didn't have this question mark here, and instead we had a period, and then no, that's not what I wanted to do. Then we got rid of num. We would have Julius solus in villa habitat, and that's a perfectly fine way to state something in Latin. But when we add num, what it does is it transforms the sentence into a question. So instead of Julius lives alone in the villa, it's does Julius live alone in the villa? All right, so what's the answer to that question? The answer is rather simple. We go back to the chapter and we find Julius non solus in villa habitat, sed cum magnis familiis. As you can see, here is the sentence, Julius non solus sed cum Aemilia et cum magna familia in villa habitat. So how do we answer this question? Well, the simple answer is that we just simply write down what we saw just a second ago in the chapter. So Julius non solus sed cum Aemilia et magna familia habitat. Now, if you like, you can actually just get rid of the Aemilia et and just say Julius non solus sed cum magna familia habitat. That's all perfectly fine. If you'd like, you could also, I guess, write down that he lives with servants, and that's also fine. The point is that the question is, does Julius live alone in the villa? And the answer is no, because he lives with other people, and that's what the book says. Now, ubi dormiunt servi. Let's move on to the next one. Ubi dormiunt servi. So ubi is a different question word. It's not like num, where it just transforms the sentence into a it doesn't just transform a statement into a question. If it did, it would go from being the servants sleep to do the servants sleep, but instead it's not do the servants sleep, it's where do the servants sleep. So dormiunt means sleep, servi obviously means servants, and ubi means where. Okay, well, where do the servants sleep? And if you go back through the chapter, you will find that that in the description of of all the different parts of the house. So the description here, as you can see on page 33 and on page 34, you'll find this paragraph right here, and it will talk all about the cubicula. Oh, and look at that. We have ubi dormiunt servi. Oh, it's the exact same thing. I quoque in cubiculis dormiunt. Remember, I means they, because if you look over here, it's the relative pronoun. It's the personal pronoun, not the relative pronoun. Ubi dormiunt servi. I quoque in cubiculis dormiunt. So they also sleep in rooms, bedrooms. Sunt ne magna eorum cubicula. Well, you don't need to include this. This is just continuing on with the narrative. And so for the answer, you would write servi in cubiculis dormiunt. The servants live in bedrooms, basically. Now, you wouldn't want to write servi quoque in cubiculis dormiunt, and the reason for why you wouldn't want to write that is because of the fact that the word quoque means also. And the way that it is used in the chapter is just, it's referring to the fact that It was just talking about how Marcus and Quintus and Julia, how they live in bedrooms, and how the servants also live in bedrooms. But that context isn't in the questions. It's just simply asking up front, where do the servants sleep? Servants sleep in bedrooms, just like everyone else. Now, let's get to the last question. And these three were just randomly selected. I'm not sure if I didn't calculate these for being the most helpful, but I'm just trying to sort of help you guys remember. If you didn't need this video, then that's a good thing. But anyway, quid Julia agit in horto? What does Julia do in the garden or in the woods? So, what does Julia do? Well, let's go back to the chapter. So, unfortunately for this question, we can't really find a place where the book itself asks, quid agit Julia in horto? Instead, we need to just simply use basic deductive skills of going, okay, well, when does Julia enter the hortus, rather? So, Aemilia et cum Marco quinto Juliaque in peristilo est. Julia rosas pulchras in horto videt, et ab Aemilia descedit. Iam ea cum Aemilia non est. Iam Aemiliam eam non videt. Puella in horto est. Well, now the puella is in the horto. So then there's this whole thing of Marcus and Quintus needing to call Julia and all this different stuff. So what is Julia doing in the horto? Well, there's a picture over here. Julia rosas carpit. She sees the flowers. She sees a bunch of pretty flowers in the woods, and so she goes and she picks the flowers and she brings them back, and she's very happy and all that stuff. So that is basically your answer, is that Julia is picking flowers. So you just simply put that here in the sentence. Let's put a period just to satisfy all the loose ends. And if you'd like, you can even say Julia rosas pulchras. Beautiful flowers, or pretty flowers. She's picking pretty flowers. But either one will work. You can stylize it up if you'd like. So that is the quick reminder. Sorry for maybe taking longer than I really needed to, but I'd really like for us to get these sorts of exercises down, especially as the year progresses. So hopefully, I believe that should be everything, and see you guys